The Dice Tower is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. And by Cool Stuff Inc. Cool Stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com. Oh, hey, Future Eric here with a couple of programming notes before we get started with today's episode. First off, thank you to the 7,863 of you who backed our Kickstarter campaign and helped us prepare for another year of content, both here on the podcast and in the video realm with our various top 10 lists, top 100 lists, and shows and reviews on YouTube. We appreciate it, every single one of you. It really helps. And we'll do our best to make you happy in the coming year. Moving on to today's episode, which is going to be a little different than what we planned. Post-cruise, I came down with something. I don't know what happened, but it knocked me out. And on Tom and my day to record, I was unable to do so. It might have been really funny to listen to, but no, you didn't want to listen to that. And so we were unable to record our planned top 10 games from 2010, from 10 years ago, which we always love doing at the beginning of the year. We will do that, but not for a couple weeks. That'll be coming up in episode 646. Mandy and Suzanne will be with you next week. This week, however, we did record one of our live shows on the Dice Tower Cruise a week ago. And this was a fun game show with our special guests, Paula Deming, Crystal Pisano, Zee Garcia. Tom was on the panel. Jason was in there as well. The original co-host of the Dice Tower, Joe Steadman, and also the brothers Murph. And it is a good time, but we kept it sort of in reserve just in case something like this happened, just because, as can be in a live recording situation, the microphone setup is never ideal. And I'm going to do my best. I'm actually about to start adjusting levels right now. I'm here in the editing booth. I will do my best to make this work. But it can get a little wonky as far as the microphone placement. So, without further ado, and with that little disclaimer, here is The Dice Tower, episode 644. Is this Dice Tower cruise broken? Welcome to the Dice Tower, a podcast about board games and card games, but especially all these people who play them. On today's show, we're live on the Independence of the Seas for Dice Tower Cruise 2020. We have a cornucopia of special guests, with of course some silly games to play. We'll check in with what the team has been playing and answer some questions from the live theater audience. I'm Eric Summerer, and here's your host, the Captain Picard of board gaming, Tom Vassar.
That's a really nice compliment.
I thought I'd fit in a nice one every once in a while.
That's really, from him, that's really nice. All right, anyway, okay, so we do a lot of game shows and stuff, but I figured that I put together a lot of game shows and I'm sick of it for this cruise in particular. So we wanted to do something different for this show, so we've invited in, the seas are nice and calm, so we think the ship can handle it. The brothers Murph are gonna come up. And to be frank, from this point onward, I'm not actually sure what's going on. They're going to host it. I'm turning it over to both of them. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. So for anyone that doesn't know, we do a podcast called This Game is Broken, which is a nice poll. And there we do. It's a board game panel show for stupid people to do stupid things. And so we have about board games and audio only. Yeah, indeed. So we have a couple of teams here. We figure we'll just do three quick rounds. We're going to do some kind of board game trivia with a little bit of a twist. We're not going to make it too easy for you because Tom said before the show, he's like, I don't get how you guys don't get the answers. It's so easy. So we're going to make it work.
That's not. I said it a little bit more cocky than that.
In the moment, it is not easy.
Yeah,
When I'm listening, I know the answers. When I'm on,
Thank you, Erickson. So these people know. So we're going to do a few quick rounds, some board game trivia. These are things that y'all are veterans. You should get. So
If you don't know, you're bad at board games, Tom. You're a good host, but you're bad at board games.
I never went, so.
And that was the day they realized we're all bad at board games.
That's right. All bad at board
If
games.
anyone, by the way, while we're doing these, if anyone has the answer, just shout it out. This is the time we can actually shout and we'll hear you. Because if you're shouting at us in the
Let them
audience,
struggle a little bit first.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Make them feel bad about themselves.
So we have our two teams. We have a team over here, a team over here, and the first game is called Lost in Translation. So, as you know, sometimes you get a game from Germany or something, but the rule book is not in English. You have to do the tough task of getting it into English, finding it, and there are often cool translators out there that you can use.
Yeah, they're very useful nowadays. If possibly a Google Translator, boom, I got it in English.
Indeed. So I should have used Google Translator.
Did you not?
No, I thought I'm going to go to Bing and translate some rules. And what happened is what came out, I don't know if it's exactly correct. So I need your help to help tell me what game are my rules from based on Bing translators.
Real quick, like, did you just go from German to English?
Oh no, I got lost along the way. I went to Dutch, I went to Czech, I went to Japanese, I lost Hindi, Hebrew, all the way
And
around.
then to English.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So I figured out what helped.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure everything's perfectly translated.
So we're going to do this. We're going to play for some points that we'll try to keep track of maybe. So over here, I have a rule for you. I'm going to read what I got out of the translator, and if you can tell me what game it's from, that'd be a huge help.
All right, now, Mike, before you move on,
Yes.
we want to start from a place of an advantage. And
Yes.
there's already one hat over there. And I think if you'll let us do a quick costume change.
Do what you must.
Oh, yeah, forgot some visual information. At this point, Crystal and I, who are on the same team, pulled out floppy bunny ear hats that you can make the ears flap back and forth. And don't worry about it. It was really, really silly. Anyway. Now we have two hats over here. Advantage.
Now I've got my thinking hat on.
And we're all ears. Yes.
Can they lose a point for a pun?
Thanks,
I feel like
everybody.
that's...
Good night.
You get points for puns?
Are we the adult section and they're the child section?
we're the serious gamers, so serious gamers.
You guys were speaking words. Okay.
What was that?
So,
Nothing.
your first
What's
rule,
it?
Nothing.
Picture from a rule that's been put through Bing Translator, which is so hard. The rule goes like this. The players need to pull a full 11 floors out of the stock and face it head on to keep the landscape going.
Oh, that's completely obvious.
Is it?
No, not at all.
Do it again.
I'm going to do it one more time. The players need to pull a full 11 floors out of the stock and face it head on to keep the landscape going.
Okay, so pull 11 tiles out of a bag.
11 cards from
But
something.
what game has 11 of something?
Floors, stocks,
You can't let
Tiles. I assume tiles is floors.
stockpile maybe. I don't know.
To keep the game going, or the,
Nothing.
what do you guys think?
Full,
I mean, you're the ones with thinking caps on. I'm just.
yes.
The word stock was in play, right?
No, stock.
Stock. S-T-O-C-K?
From the stock, it said. That's probably like a bag.
Yeah. Or a pile.
11 floors?
11 stories?
Ooh, someone said tiles?
Tiles, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
figured.
A full 11 tiles? Of,
Is it quacks?
well, I mean, we can take a stab at it and say quacks.
I haven't played, so I don't know.
We'll say quacks of Quedlinburg.
Quacks of Quedlinburg is not
So,
correct.
we're on
Pass
pass
it
over
over.
to
Seal.
Can you repeat the?
They're not really going to click. Watch.
Wait, just repeat. It's
This side.
with an L.
The
Stop.
players need to pull a full 11 floors. You actually in the game do not need to do that. Okay, so
Hey, that's extra help.
floors out of the stock and face it head on to keep the landscape going.
Keep the landscape
It
going.
makes more and more sense.
Well, I'm going to let you answer.
Oh no!
No,
you
it's the
already
help.
told me
It's
that
the
my
help.
guess was wrong.
I didn't tell you your guess was wrong, but
It
it's
is
right.
wrong though. No, it's wrong because I thought stalk, like a tree trunk.
Oh.
But they meant stuff.
That would explain the bad answer.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought, Jenga, because you pull stuff, but that's a stalk of wood, not a stock of cards.
Did you say stock or sock?
When they mess up, will it come back to us?
Carcassonne. We'll say Carcassonne.
Yeah.
I get it now. To keep the landscape.
Keep the landscape.
Gosh darn it. I just need to be quicker.
Okay, so unfortunately, neither of our teams got it.
You were so close.
You were not.
So close.
You were talking about birds and Jenga. That is not close to Carcassonne. There's so few birds in that. Every game, 3 steps from another game.
Actually, in the South America edition, there are words.
In Jenga? Alright, moving on. Moving on, over here, you have a fresh clue. While the ship goes on, the player tries to avoid Snapchat and break when taking financial opportunities, and everyone becomes the first full ship undamaged. Got it. I think Dane has a deal with Snapchat, so just
I'm waiting for the clue.
You want one more time?
Yes.
Please.
While the ship goes on, the player tries to avoid Snapchat and breaks when taking financial opportunities, and everyone becomes the first full ship undamaged.
I say Galaxy Trucker. I say Galaxy Trucker. I knew that
Do
one.
you concur with Galaxy Trucker? I'll give you half of it.
I have no idea, so I'm going to say yes because that sounded confident.
I don't
Tom, it's-
think so, but okay.
Tom is
I'll go with the majority. I mean,
All right, Galaxy Trucker is correct. Let them suffer a bit, fam. I'm still giving you all a point for that.
thank you.
We were struggling, so I think it was good.
You guys might have some secret delivered in your room for helping us.
The
Oh, wait.
actual rules, once the ships are underway, the players try to
You don't want it
stairs
sneaking in your room.
All right, moving over here. This one's easy. Each paramine approves 2 new officers immediately for this round. It also promotes temporary functions in 1 or more areas.
I would love to come up with a funny quip.
Maybe you guys should take off the thinking caps. Just a suggestion.
So I'm thinking coup, promoting the 2 temporary officers. Sounds like the 2 team members. Isn't there like a voting in the first round?
That seems like a reasonable.
To like who's in charge this round? Who goes
Who's
on the
on
mission?
first?
What's on second? I don't know. What's on third.
Yeah. Is there any chance you can read it again slower and in English?
Each paramine approves 2 new officers immediately for this round. It also promotes temporary functions in 1 or more areas. Obviously.
What about the resistance?
Oh, I wasn't thinking. I meant resistance.
Yeah.
I was thinking coup, but I said coup, but I was thinking resistance.
Okay, well I think you were thinking correctly.
Yeah.
Let's go with
I
that.
think
Let's go with
resistance.
The resistance.
The resistance is unfortunately not correct.
Is it
No. No, you're all audience, anybody? No, it's not so far. No. No. Ha-ha! Fooled you. It's Paladins of the West Kingdom. Obviously.
Obvious.
That was my second choice. Should have went with my gut.
Reward 2 workers for the current round instead of.
I was thinking architects, but paladins, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see how you'd be confused. It's the box art's the same.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Yours is in the time panel. Move the alarm time to a lot of space as shown in the label. If your time ends in the same room where your opponent is, your signal time will signal it. Right? I love when my signal time signals it. That's so useful when it does that, yeah.
Okay, games with runes. And
Wait, runes?
runes? Didn't you say if you anything with a rune? Can you enunciate more clearly?
You're the closest person to them.
The time panel. Move the alarm time to a lot of space, as shown in the label. Hint. If your time ends in the same room where your opponent is, your signal time will signal it.
It's a game that makes you lose
Something
time.
that happens that triggers when you end up in the same space as someone else.
I agree.
Isn't that like
My brain is fried.
Descent or something like that, where if you spend too much time on a square without any monsters, it like triggers more monsters. Y'all know what I'm
What's
talking
this?
about?
This
Like Descent?
No.
Okay, well you think it's
I was thinking something like
No, I thought you had like. There's a certain. What game do you spend time?
time stories.
No,
I
not
mean,
time
technically you
stories.
spend time
What's a
on
game that-
every game you play. So I'm gonna say the entire Dice Tower library.
Yes. Yes.
I'm yes.
Just one word.
I agree. Dice Tower Library.
So what was the no?
If we're gonna go out, we're going out in style.
That's right.
I like that. You want to steal?
Oh, we do. But what we want is irrelevant at this point.
Read it again.
In the time panel, move the alarm time to a lot of space, as shown in the label. If your time ends in the same room where your opponent is, your signal time will signal it. Gosh, it'll signal.
Oh, I think so. Okay, we're gonna go with Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time.
It's almost the same as Patchwork.
Patchwork?
Wait,
I have a guess. Wait, did they already go? Did they already try to steal? Look! Listen here!
We were still working over here.
One, I cannot hear out of the side of my head. Two, we weren't cheating by trying to get an extra guess in. What was it?
Alright, so with that, it was Patchwork. Patchwork was the answer.
Password.
But wait, Paula's a special guest. She deserves a second opportunity.
I do. Thank you, Jason. I'm gonna guess password.
Hey, Paula. Patchwork.
I cannot hear.
Okay, so
Give her a third guess, guys.
So the next game, we're going to play a game.
What's up? I got no hat. I got no little green paper.
So I'll take this, don't look at it yet, please. The next game we're going to play is a game called Scream If You Want to Go Faster. So we're going to give you Post-it notes out to two people on each team. One at a time, we're going to start with Eric. And you're going to look at the games, you're going to have to explain those games to your team, and they're going to have to try and guess what games you're trying to explain. Normal kind of rules, you can't rhyme, you can't say Bartle, don't just say their title, something like that. And that's it, you have 1 minute to try and get through all 8 of your games. You get 1 point per game that you get right. And if you get it up there, you can start going on it. Just scream. Does everyone understand how this game works? Mr. Summer, are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay. We're guessing, right?
Yes. Time begins now.
It's a freedom and free game that doesn't start with an F, guy turning a dial on the front. Very mathy.
Power grid.
Yes. It's an abstract, very old abstract king, queen, pawn.
Chess.
This is a Dungeons and Dragons worker placement game.
Underdark.
No.
Oh, Lord of Waterdeep.
Yes. This is a party game where you usually can't talk. You have 3 rounds. You get to use fewer and
Time's
fewer
up.
words. Yes. This is. I don't know how this game is played. Not the South, but
North.
the body of water.
North Sea.
And if you were stealing things from it,
The Lost North Sea.
Yeah.
Raiders of the North.
Raiders.
that's
of
right.
the North Sea.
So it's in the trees. There's a small red
Donkey.
furred mammal that's in the
Koalas
trees.
looking
Red
sloth.
furred though.
Fox.
Not a dog, yes, and it's in the trees.
Fox in the forest.
Yes. So you're driving all of the the cattle up
Great
north.
Western Trail.
That's right, and you're making wine.
Viticulture.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's all of them. And this hat is hot, so I'm gonna let the advantage. I'll let them. I need my brain breathed.
Paula over here.
You should have made times up like number 7 so that you could have shouted the answer and told them they were done at the same time.
That would have been good.
Let's check out this game of broken. It's a good one.
Okay, Paula. You're giving clues now to Jason. Are you ready?
Nervous. Okay. Ready?
Then you go.
Okay, so there is a version of this, like 10 million versions of this game. It has to do with curing diseases.
Pandemic.
But this one has to do with like a land mass or a...
Pandemic Iberia.
I mean, what?
Pandemic Iberia.
Yes, okay. The next one is a roll and write. It has to do with map making.
Cartographers.
Okay, this one is... okay, the next one is what you do with dice.
Roll
And
and
another
move.
word for space.
Roll for the galaxy. Thank
Yes.
you.
This is a huge minis game. It kind of sounds like a James Bond title, and it has to do with like H.P. Lovecraft
Spyfall?
stuff.
Oh.
Kaboo, that's my die.
Yes. This is when you cut yourself, something comes out.
Blood
of you.
rage.
Blood.
Yes. Okay. Oh, Restoration Games. Just,
Down Force? Return to Dark Tower.
This,
Dark
the
Tower.
older-
Oh, Fire Island.
Yes. A really great 2-player game where you have a robber who moves around the track of the game. Yeah.
They can't say Starkey.
It's in Greece, and you are building up
Concordia.
with gods, and it's a 2-player.
Days.
That was good. That's really good.
I've been shaking with
From this side of the stage, all we can hear is, oh, la, 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 la. So it sounded great.
Right is right.
I know one of those was Targi. That's about it.
That's good. Okay, we're jump back over here. Crystal.
I'm ready to go.
Need you to bring it. Your time starts now.
This game is named after the smell after it rains.
Petrichor.
This game is a game that Paula thinks is called Password. All
Patchwork.
right. This is a game that Eric put in the wrong alphabetical place on their top list.
Le Havre.
There we go. This is Farming Mechs.
Side. Yeah.
This is a small box game about
Tiny
war,
epic.
where you're all in the trenches and it's bad and it's close.
Grizzle.
Okay.
Grizzle.
This game is very popular and Elizabeth Hargrave designed it.
Wingspan.
2-player card game that I've never played, and it comes in a yellow box with some blue letters on it, and it's very popular and it's small. And if you're not found,
Lost
you are.
Cities?
Yep, there you go. And stop sign. Green means
Go.
good done.
Well done. Nice job.
When am I allowed to look at these?
Not yet. Don't look at it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Expert. You know, you're the best gamer in the world. I know that. We're only going to give you
Wait,
40
Tom.
seconds, Tom.
Mind
Because
meld.
you're so good.
Are you ready?
Mind meld. It's mind meld.
right.
Mind meld.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alamoon.
Ticket to ride.
Alamoon across the sea.
It's the other.
UK?
Sales and
No,
sales.
all the countries put together, France and Germany.
Oh. 10 days in.
Say it!
10 days in.
They said it. That counts. Return to
Ticket to
ride
ride Europe.
Thank you. All right, now Sweden,
Ticket to ride Nordic countries.
Germany.
Ticket to ride Markland.
Put down some things on the table that are 1 and 6.
Ticket
2 and
to
5.
ride, I don't know.
Stop saying ticket to ride. We're now at a different version.
Nim 6. 6 Nim.
No, this is a really old game. You can
Put
line them
down
up and
the-
knock them over.
Dominoes.
Dominoes.
Great. And then if you add to the beginning of that someone who rules a country,
King Domino.
and then the lady,
Queen Domino.
Queen Domino.
and then only 2
Baby
players,
Domino.
then only 2.
Domino. King Domino. Duo. King Domino Duo.
And then if you catch a little rodent,
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap.
done.
Did you know that all of the countries across the ocean are called Europe?
Thank you for knowing the word Europe.
It just sounds like a wall.
You can name every country in Europe, but don't know the continent of Europe.
Okay, so that is the street. We want to go fast. Okay, our last game is a game called Not a Palindrome. People here know what palindromes are. Palindromes are words that are spelled the same backwards as they are forwards. The name Bob is a palindrome. The word race car is a palindrome.
Taco Cat. Yes, thank you.
Madam, I'm Adam.
So I'm going to give you the names of some of these games. I'm going to say them out loud. I'm going to say them backwards. The issue is none of these games are palindromes. So
So, hence they're not a palindrome, we're clever with names. So, I'm going to go, giving you it backwards, you have to tell me what game it is. Cool? Pretty easy, right?
Oh, this is where you're saying the name backwards?
Yes.
Okay, got
Is it
it.
not palindromes?
Yeah, okay.
Well, listen,
So
also,
let's
that
start
was a
with this team here. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Four.
Rococo.
I wasn't even close.
Alright, so we're ready?
It's all names. I'm just going to back up. Let him deliver it.
Wait, are we back to the yelling segment of the show?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'm not going to be yelling with any enunciation at all. It'll be great. So, not short.
That
Trajan?
Trajan.
Trajan, I think.
Ooh. I'm getting the easy ones right now.
You just warm it up.
Yeah, we're at the one-word title.
Do you have to yell it though? Is the question.
That's what it helps.
Okay, that's how you speak backwards.
That's how you know it's not a palindrome.
Nick making sounds is like the best.
The only reason this game is because I find it very funny. Alright, we got Bruss.
Say it again, please.
We got Bruss.
Russ. Suburbia?
I'm not sure why I'm here.
I'm not sure why I'm here either.
Now you can hear.
I angled myself, if you'll notice. I strategically shifted my position.
You should be good to a whole show backwards.
Alright, we right here?
Okay.
We got Luke Nasty.
Luke Nasty.
Luke Nasty.
Yeah, I think I heard Istanbul from the audience. I think Istanbul is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with Istanbul.
Alright, good job.
What about
Shouldn't it be called nasty though? That's just one.
Alright. Those are all the one word games. Now we're getting to
we don't
the
need to play.
multi-word games, and it gets
No,
really weird.
I may not know anymore.
Oh, okay.
Alright. We got Dude Salmonella.
Did you just say salmonella while we're on a
I did
show?
not say salmonella. Right, okay, now we're done. Dude Salmonella.
Say the first word again.
Dude.
Taylude?
Dude.
Taylude. Tay.
Something dust, something dust.
Okay, say the whole thing. Say the whole thing.
Duet. Codename.
Say the whole thing. Oh yeah.
It's codename
You're right.
duet.
Code into it. You figure out duet, you got it. There's not many duet.
Codename's duet. Codename's duet. And this is duet.
I didn't say the colon backwards. That was when I was confused.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I mean, no one wants a backwards colon.
That's dangerous.
It's a serious medical issue. All right.
Hey, I broke it!
That's good.
Yeah. Samad Ina Oot.
Okay.
Sounds like too many bones to me. What do you think?
Yeah.
Two is first, so it's
Too many bones.
Too many bones.
Yeah.
Eric's good at this. Clearly. I'll just sit here and agree with you, boss. Yeah.
This was legitimately hard to do. Okay.
You didn't write them backwards?
I did write them back.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't make it easier all the time. Okay. Here we go. Magnet seal et faux security crap.
Arc of something.
All right. I'll give it one more time.
Please.
Magnet seal et faux security crap. Last one's really hard to say backwards. Consonants are all
Can you
messed
just
up.
do the last word one more time?
Magnet.
That might. I just need one of them. Magnet.
What about faux?
Something of. There's okay.
It's
What games
arc.
have of in it?
Arc something, because the last word was cra, which is arc.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's good. We'll go with that.
Oh,
We're gonna go
yeah.
Architecture of the West
Good
Kingdom.
score. Architects of the West
All right.
Kingdom.
We'll do that to you. You got it.
Architects backwards is very hard to say. I just want to put that out there. Look got it backwards. It's confusing. All right. Last one over here.
All right, Eric, go.
Okay. Eat crack and eat good. Synopsis and eat cattle.
Gesundheit.
One more.
One more.
That's all he has to do. He's going to pass out basically. All right. Eat crack and eat good. Synopsis and eat cattle.
The last one was e-crat. So.
Last word was eat cattle.
Oh, my bad.
Eat cattle.
E-kettle. I think it's Teotihuacan, guys. Wow, that was
Yes,
good.
there's a subtitle, right?
No, I'm kidding.
You sure?
Yes, I'm definitely. I mean, if it is that, I'm a genius,
What's
and I don't
the
know
subtitle?
it.
What's
I don't
the
know
subtitle?
what it is.
I think City of the Big Gods?
That's definitely
Is
not
it City of the Big Shoulders?
Big something?
No.
No. E-kettle.
Negative.
We have no idea. Does anybody have any idea?
No, here it goes. That's fair.
I didn't hear it. Can you repeat?
I'll fix this. No, you didn't get it. They're not watching.
One of the Carcassonne.
Give me a good pause in between each
We
word.
just all we need you to do
That's
is
cheating.
listen. And then you'll become
All right. Here we go. One last time. Eat crack and eat good. Synopsis and eat cattle. The eat cattle is just.
Eat cattle?
Just what?
Cattle?
I'm not going to give you more information than that. You've got like 7 times. If it's not clear,
Not
He said E10, so it's net.
Correct.
He
Okay.
said E10 at the end, so it's net. It's something net. Net at the beginning of the word. I don't know what else it is.
Maybe.
And I heard a lit in
The
there.
Riddler got it. Don't say it. Let them suffer.
I don't know.
the Riddler
Legacy Testament of Christ.
is obviously.
Oh my
Are
word.
you kidding? Is that what it is? That's what it is.
You used that one on the show, didn't you?
People, listen one time.
I should know.
Eat cattle. Obviously, it's legacy. Eat cattle. It's phonetic.
Yeah,
I stopped keeping track.
Okay.
3/4 of the way.
Obviously, who's the lead before you gave up? Is there anything to
This guy wins.
It's right here. I think we have a slight edge from this team over here because they got both of their screaming you want to go faster rounds.
That's true. And they got all of their things.
So team to our right is our winners, everybody.
As much as I would like to take credit for this, I'm pretty sure this was all Paula.
No. Don't forget how poorly the first couple rounds went for me.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
So this was a team effort.
So yeah, that's it for us. Well, thank you for joining us for
Thanks for
All right, it's time for 2 things. 1, for Jason to work out. 2, we're going to bring back the original, what is it, the OH?
The OG.
OG. Mr. Joe Steadman. Okay, Jason's going to come down and let people ask questions. We'll do that for a few minutes before we then go to supper.
Don't worry, you're first. You know.
Oh, you need to grab Mike. You need to grab Mike. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, you can go down and start doing that. Meanwhile, so this is an interesting thing. So Joe was on the podcast for episodes 1 through 50. Then he disappeared into the netherworlds and went and you did all kinds of things. And now you're back. And it's like you played some games.
It's like the movie Iceman. The guy that got frozen was gone for a long time, then came back.
It was funny because I was telling him, I said, there's this great new game called Blood Rage. I think you like it, made by Coolman or not. He said, who's that? And I was like, well, they use Kickstarter. What's that? And so, yeah, so. But we're catching him up in leaps and bounds. So he's here also to answer questions if you want.
I found your first.
Oh, thanks a lot, Jason.
He's your best friend, Tom.
Well, I do happen to have a few riddles. Riddle me this. Why don't chicken coops have 4 doors?
Yeah, they'd be chicken sedans.
They'd be chicken sedans. Well done. I'm always the people. Second, what does the German illusionist say to his pet rabbit in the morning?
What does the German illusionist say to his pet rabbit in the morning?
Gesundheit.
No, the answer is Guten Morgen, mein Herr. One more and then we're done. Riddle me this.
Oh, man.
How does one contact a fish?
How does one combat a fish?
Contact.
Oh.
Drop him a line.
My goodness, I couldn't eat it.
Yeah, very nice.
Move to the other side of the stage, Jason.
That would be great if there's another person over there wearing that outfit. Yes.
Are there any games that you played here in the group that you have especially liked, that were new to you?
That were new to me? No.
Yeah, no. Well, what about stuff that was not new to you that you've enjoyed thus far?
Desperation.
I got to play Demon Worker, which I've talked about quite a bit. Showed it to a few new people. Really enjoyed that, and I think they enjoyed it as well. So that was really fun.
Very cool.
Cool.
So this is a question for Paula. When do we get to meet your sister Laura?
There's been an unfortunate incident, and Laura regrets that she can never make an appearance in public. So, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever meet her.
That's a shame.
You know, she's sad about it. She's really, what it is she's better than I am. So I've had to do away with her. For those of you who aren't aware, on an episode of a podcast, my name got missaid as Laura Deming instead of Paula Deming on another podcast, and so there's now a joke about what is my name? Is it Laura or Paula? But it's Paula. So.
Can you ever find out if he's still in the audience?
He's by himself.
He's trying to know
It is Mike Delicio's fault specifically, so if you want to know more about the story, you can ask him.
What is going on? I am super confused. Oh, we got a question back there.
Tom, I have a question for you and everybody. So you started doing reviews a long, long time ago. I talked to you, but never asked. I'm sure you've answered it many times. What made you first want to put something on the internet? Because I'm assuming this was the birth. Or was it Joe? Then maybe you could both talk about how did you begin to want to start doing this for people?
That's what we were just talking about this actually. So Joe and I Scott Alden and Dirk Sokol, who were running Board Game Geek at the time, did a podcast, and I listened to it and I thought it was a fun idea.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And we were in a church where we could do pretty much whatever we wanted at the time, and they had all this equipment in the back. And we're like, no one's using this. Let's record a podcast with this up-to-date, high-quality equipment.
Radio Shack mic with some desktop computers, background sounds.
Yeah, so we just decided, hey, we'll talk about it. There was almost no script for the first one. I said we're doing a top 10. That's all I could think of.
Yeah, top 10 was at the beginning. We had no name. We just kind of made it up as we went. We didn't know what games to do, so we went on Board Game Geek and just looked what was popular. So we started buying games. We went online and started buying games and shipped to Korea.
Yeah.
We'd play them, and I would hate them, and Tom would love them.
I bought Puerto Rico. He bought Tigers and Euphrates. Those were the top 2 ranked games.
Yep.
We both liked their respective games and refused to play the other one.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were both right.
We had a couple of really bad games. We bought like Tenjo. Remember Tenjo?
Yeah, Sam bought. No, that was you.
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even play that now. But, it was funny because we recorded in the back of the church, and this was Korea. It was either really cold or really hot, and we recorded right in front of this giant heater / air conditioner that we had to turn on. So we would turn on the heater, we'd heat up the whole auditorium. It was probably a waste of money. And then we would turn it off, and we would record as much as we could.
It got too cold.
Until our fingers couldn't move. Then we pause, turn the heater back on, do it again.
But the original question, why did we do it?
Oh, yeah.
It was a combination of being bored and a love of the hobby, and we just realized there's this whole community of people that were on it. Like, it was the information technology revolution, right? We had podcasting and the internet, and all this was happening, and there was really a vacuum of information. So we looked at all the games, and back then, Board Game Geek didn't have that many games compared to now, and we were like, we don't know anything about these games. So we just started buying and reviewing and having fun.
Let's run this down the gamut. What made everyone here decide to get into it?
I was bored. No, I was listening to you guys, and thought it would be fun to help out, and I had extra time.
I remember when
He said they need help.
when you first told me when I was leaving and you told me you hired Eric and I heard his voice, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a practical joke. Hi, I'm Eric. And I was like, yeah, sorry. No, I love you, Eric. I thought you were joking at first because Tom's a practical joker. If you don't know Tom,
I am not.
Yes. He played a practical joke on me once that took a whole year to set up. He kept on sending me fake emails about someone coming to Korea to play war games with me. Whose flight got delayed a few times, and so he finally showed up on April the 1st.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. It's one of my top 10 proudest moments of my life. And I had 7 kids.
He felt guilty because I started requesting people to pray for this man because his flights and all these, because he's supposed to show up in early March, so I wouldn't be suspicious.
Yes. So actually, Joe went to take off work, and so I went to talk to his boss.
Take off work to go to the airport to pick up this guy.
And I said, look, I don't mind doing this, but he shouldn't lose money over it. So he told you he couldn't have off. By the way, he was super thrilled I was doing it. I had a lot of support. What about you, Paul?
Well, I'm an actress and I love board games. I've been playing them for years and I love comedy, and I just started looking at what content was out there about board games and how much of it is male driven, and wanted to see more women represented in the hobby because, we play games. I mean, there's tons of us here. There's tons of women here. And so, I mean, we play games and we should see ourselves more in the content. And I thought, well, no one probably cares what I think about the games. Like, I'm not really going to do reviews, I don't think. Why? Why would I do that? A million other people are already doing it and doing it better than I could. I don't think anyone would watch that. But what I can bring is my own special mix of who I am, which is board games and comedy. So why don't I make sketch comedy that is jokes about board games, entertainment for those of us who love this hobby. So I started doing that. I had an idea and put together the first video, and people seemed to like it, so I kept making them. And now I can't stop. I feel obligated.
Once you're in, you're in.
It's over. Yeah.
Crystal?
Well, my story is a little bit similar to Paula's. In 2015, I was actually on Reddit, and on the board game subreddit, someone asked, what's missing from board game podcasts? And the two things that came up a whole lot in that thread were short-length podcasts and women podcasters. And so me and Ambi Valdez, who had never met or spoken up until that point, both commented in that thread and said, well, we could complain about this fact or we could fix it. So we started Board Game Blitz in 2016, and we're almost at our 100th episode and 4-year anniversary. And so if you don't listen to the podcast, that's totally fine. Every episode's 30 minutes or less, except our 100th episode is definitely not going to be only 30 minutes, and we're really excited about it. So.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez.
Tom hit you on the head, if I recall, and dragged you into the house.
It was, I don't know, proximity and convenience.
You moved behind you too.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, you moved towards me, okay? I didn't move towards you.
That's true. And he's one of the first people I went to Board Game Geek and sent a message out to.
You just looked up people that lived in that area, right?
I was like, so what's the game you seem like? He's like, don't come.
Like, is this the Tom Vassell? You don't really want to come here. No, I said, we had a local game store, blah, blah, blah. So I told him about that, and then I met you at that local game store, I think. Eventually.
Really bad game.
We did, and eventually you said, oh, I think I want you to help me out on a video or two, and I said, sure, it's fine. I have a background that's very similar to Paula's. So yeah, it was just sort of like, I just did it because why not? It's a bit, right? And then did more of them, and then we did top 10s. I don't think a lot of people realize I did top 10s with you for a long time without being, hired by the Dice Tower, just because I could, and I had the time, and it was fun. So yeah, and then eventually when it was starting to get a little bit bigger, of course, then I came on full time, and the rest, most of you should know.
Or else. Like, you should know that.
No, it's okay.
I feel similar to Z. I mean, I live in New York. I moved down to Florida. I got some of my friends in my game groups here. Well, who do you know in Florida that plays games? And they're like, oh, find that Tom Basso guy. And I was like, send him an email. He's like, let's go play a game. Do you remember the game?
Man, the colors and poems.
Fog of Love.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
And it was a war game, Joe. And then Tom said, you want to join us too? Or no, I squeaked my way in. That was like 8 years later.
Yeah, that conversation definitely never happened. You want to join us too?
No, but seriously though, like being with these guys in our group in Florida is amazing, and you know, it's been nothing but amazing experiences the whole way through.
And I want to add to that. So what got me into it, but what's getting me back into it is after over a decade of not really seriously being in a hobby, how much it's changed. And just the people who play board games are so friendly and it's so inclusive and it crosses the barriers of social, economic things. You see all kinds of people playing games, and even after years of not being in a hobby, I would go to somewhere, like I would go to a board game store, and some random person I've never in my life would say, do you know Tom Vassell? I was like, are you Joe Steadman, the guy that used to be with Tom Vassell? I'm the Wozniak to Steve Joe. That's who I am. I'm Wozniak if you don't know who I am. So, but I'm glad I came back. So.
All right, looks like we have another question. Oh, riddle. I'll take a riddle. Let's do the riddle first.
What is brown?
A stick.
A stick?
No, I have a question. I don't know if you are board game store or cafe owners, but I'm just curious if any of you have any thoughts on where you see sort of the brick and mortar scene going in the next 5 or 10 years. There's you know, like Magic is, you know, has launched Arena, like more, and then a lot of stores have relied on Magic, and it looks like, you know, the way the wind is blowing, like, you know, there's going to be more of that moving online as Wizards irons that out and gets better, and more people are like, why should I go to a store? And I mean, I did the Snakes and Lattes in Toronto, and it's amazing. And I'm just curious if any of you have any thoughts about where you think, like, brick and mortar store gaming is going. Is it going away, or do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, at least I think because the craft food industry is improving, I think you're going to see more board game stores that are picking up that cafe model and stepping up their food game to help bring in other people. Because the hobby board gamers are already looking for board game cafes, and I think stores are going to get better at bringing in people from outside of the hobby and helping rope them in so the rest of us can play games with them with better like food and drink offerings.
I don't know what it is, but board gamers sound so predatory all the time. Why is that?
Trying to rope people in.
Yeah, like anytime somebody discusses finding other folks who enjoy gaming and want to partake of it with them, it always sounds extremely just like, yeah, I'm gonna rope them in with Ticket to Ride, and then pounce them with Agricola, and then I'm gonna rip them apart with the latest Fells. I'm like, what is going on? Just play games with people. But I agree, cafes are nice.
Here's the thing, though. With board game cafes and restaurants and pubs and things, you're going to see a lot more go out of business fast, too, because the restaurant industry is easily one of the highest failure industries in the world. And when you run a board game cafe, it's restaurant first, board game second. It has to be. And so you'll see a lot of them pop up, I think, and I think it's a great thing, but you'll see a lot collapse, too. I think we're going to see a lot less brick and mortar stores over the next decade. I just think that's inevitable through a variety of means. But I think you'll see the ones that remain will become some of the coolest spots on earth because they'll have to be to make you want to go there over clicking on Amazon. Yeah. I don't think this is a bad thing. I just think it's natural evolution, and it is what it is.
No, board cafes are awesome, I think, because you get food while you play. I mean, how many people do you party like for? If you guys go to food and press, you got food every day. It's pretty cool.
You eat that food every day?
Or we would be really It's amazing, but we'd be.
10,000 steps on the 50, you could eat it every day.
You know, I think that's a pretty good way to end the show here.
Really? Really? We're ending on that? That's how you want to go out? Jason's more fit than the rest of us. Good night? Jeez. Put your hat back on.
Is he doing a demonstration?
Oh, no.
Just take it to a catwalk? I mean,
On the catwalk.
All right.
alrighty, well listen, folks, we're gonna end the show in just a second, and then after that we have a couple announcements. But for those of you who may be listening online, if this ever shows up online, thank you. We want to thank everybody who helped out. We want to thank Travis from Above Board for showing off stuff.
This looks really weird.
There it is. We want to thank Forbidden Games for sponsoring this whole cruise here. We want to thank the brothers Murph. Check out both of their podcasts. And Paul, who basically single-handedly won the game for us over here.
I think we all know that's not true.
And Jason, and Crystal, and Zee, and Eric, and Joe, and from me, from all of us, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. This episode was recorded in front of a live maritime audience on January 25th, 2020. The Dice Tower is produced by Tom, Eric, Mandy, and Suzanne, with assistance from Roy Kennedy, Mike Delisio, and Rob Searing. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme. Of course, everybody believes Mr. Garcia's tale about how he trounced all of us in that classic deck-building game, because it's Dominion, Zee's side. And hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find your next favorite at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all the gang at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming!
I gotta say, that's the worst one ever. That one's bad.
They're not all going to be winners.
That's not even close. That's really bad. That's worse than the one you did with Crystal the other time on that show.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Did you do that one or did you find it?
I don't remember. I just have a list.
That means he wrote that.
I'm sure somebody else came up with that one.
Don't worry, Tom.
I'm
I
picturing
criticized
it now.
the one he did on Wednesday night, and that was written by him. So
I was with you.